Yep. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. You like how that came in, it started out dark, coming to the light. That was a cool intro. I didn't plan that. I did not plan that, by the way. So, as far as today's Move Swiftly thought, let's get right into it. Let's just cut right to the chase, right? Picking it up from where I left off 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I was explaining to you guys that I was in the middle of Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney. I was in the middle of his book, The Ride of a Lifetime, a book I strongly recommend. I picked it up because of all the ESPN layoffs, and obviously Disney owns ESPN, and I wanted to just get an idea, when I wouldn't be doing my work if I don't put certain things in my head, putting the information in my head so I can filter it out and bring it to you guys. However, I do strongly recommend you buying the book and reading it yourself, right? So, because I had such a long trip to Jacksonville this past weekend, I am about 30 minutes. I didn't buy the hard copy. I'm listening to it on Audible. I'm about 30 minutes from finishing the entire book, and I just gotta tell this story because it exemplifies everything I'm about. It exemplifies everything about teamwork. It exemplifies why this country, all the big businesses, the major corporations, all of the ones that really know how to make a splash and have a staple, have trademark, have their staple in this world, have made a dent in the way everybody lives. They all, the core to all of these dealings, the core to all of these businesses is teamwork, all right? It was at the part, Bob Iger was explaining what the process was for him buying Pixar. At the time, you may not know this, but at the time, Pixar was actually owned by Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, who is the founder of Apple. This phone I have, the phone you probably have, or the laptop you probably have, Apple, that same company, right? And he was talking about how difficult the process was because they paid upwards, I believe, of $7 billion, somewhere around $7 billion to buy Pixar. Disney paid the $7 billion to buy Pixar. Now, obviously, that's all not coming out of Bob Iger's pocket. He had a group of board members to convince. And what happened, the way it all went down was he got on the phone, and this was probably the highlight of the book, in my opinion. He got on the phone with Steve Jobs, and he was nervous. He was really rattled because he knew for him to get Pixar he was gonna drive the price really high. So he went to Pixar and he saw everything that was about. He took a visit to the factory and seeing everything that it was about. And the way he describes it, the way Bob Iger actually describes it in the book, is that he couldn't even contain his excitement. When you're in these business dealings, you don't want to be the one that's getting too excited when it comes to what you asked for, how the experience was. He was saying in the book that he couldn't even help himself. He was that excited to essentially purchase Pixar, right? So long story short, it all went down. He was able to convince his board to spend that money, spend the billions of dollars that it was going to cost and that it was going to be worth and all that kind of stuff. So the day of the announcement, here's where I want to take you. The day of the announcement, when they were going to announce that Disney has officially purchased Pixar, Steve Jobs pulls Bob Iger aside. He pulls Bob Iger aside, and they go and take a walk. They take a walk, and he's nervous because he's got all the board members, got everyone excited, and they're getting ready to announce this purchase in about 30 minutes. Steve Jobs takes him aside for a walk, and Steve Jobs sits him down and he looks him in his face. He goes, "Look, I have cancer, and he had liver cancer, I believe, and that's eventually what took him out, so to speak. Or people like that I don't look at as actually being dead. I just have moved on to another life, moved on to a better place, right? Because of the work he's done. You don't kill people like that. People like that don't actually die. They may not be here in the physical, but they're here mentally, spiritually, they're here. But anyway, he tells Bob Iger about the situation, about how he has cancer, and he gave him an opportunity. He gave him an opportunity to back out the deal now, if you want to, and he was telling him that he wants to be around for his son and the whole thing. And Bob Iger did not back out of the deal. He didn't back out of the deal. They went ahead and purchased everything, and from that point, it's been a wonderful relationship. But the point of me telling you that is that Steve Jobs gave him the opportunity. gave him the opportunity because he didn't look at him as just some client that he's getting $7 billion from. He looked at him as a teammate, looked at him as someone that's an equal, looked at him as someone that's a partner. And when you see the partnership between Disney and Pixar, you see where these dealings happen. So it's not, I get in the media, we talk all about big numbers and, the big numbers that's going to take to purchase this and purchase that. What it's really happening is that there are teams being formed, there are alliances being formed in which produce even greater results. And that's all in the innovative teamwork world, all right? I got more on this. Trust me, I'll have a whole lot more on this. Main website to check out, makeyeamove.com. That's makeyeamove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.